How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. Oh, Bissel Brothers up in his piece in the form of their Swish. Re-review time. I don't do a ton of re-reviews, and I was like, the Bissel Brothers sent off a box of beer, and there was a couple beers that I've reviewed in there previously, more specifically their Substance, which I'm not going to re-review because I think I did that less than a year ago, and I was like, maybe I'll redo Swish. I mean, it's probably been like a year or two since I've reviewed it. Wrong. Fucking wrong. I have not reviewed this beer since 2016, April of 2016, which makes it almost 5 years ago. I can't believe this beer has been around for 5 years, let alone I reviewed it 5 years ago. So I'm pumped. I'm pumped to dive into this. It's an 8% alcohol by volume, big old hazy. I did not watch my old review. I'm really curious to see what I said about that beer then, as opposed to now. Beers change, palates change. We'll see what happens. And yeah, I'm pumped, man. Let's just dive into this sucker. There's nothing else on the can. Well, date. How old is this? It is a bonkersly old, 3 weeks old. Yeah. Drain pour, right? It's probably perfect timing for this beer. Surprised it didn't jump out of the can. Me twisting and turning around like a jerk. Anyway. Yeah, I remember. So I went to Portland. I'm going to pour the whole thing in there. I'm going to do it because that's what I can do. One of the best cans in the history of mankind. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just the way this can looks. That black and silver, all black can. You know what I mean? Something about this thing just makes me infinitely giddy. And I've always dug it. Yeah, I gotta break out. I have a Bissel Brothers shirt. I got a little too fat for it, I think, so that's why I don't wear it anymore. But anyway, I remember I went up to Portland with my buddy George in 2017, and we went to Bissel. When we were up there, we went to Bissel Brothers, and then the next day we found out they're doing a Swish release, so we went back, and it was like negative fucking 8 degrees in the at the place. So, we go and line up, an hour or so beforehand. We're like 8th or 10th in line, and we're like, Jesus Christ, this is crazy. But they were nice enough to be like, you guys are idiots, come inside and get warm. But yeah, I'm sure I've had Swish since then. But I don't remember the last time I had it, so I'm kind of excited. Piggy finger, just off white head, and just that rich kind of old school hazy glow. Now, I know that sounds a little bit like whatever, yeah, old school. It is, because it's not turkey gravy, it's not butternut squash soup. It just looks like this from concentrate kind of OJ thing, which a lot of people don't really do that much nowadays. I'm not going to say not a lot, but a lot of breweries go for this ultra high density chalky thing, and you're just not getting it here. You're just getting this rich kind of orange juice looking, beautiful looking hazy. Yeah. Off to a very pretty start. See if we get a nose. Okay. So here's the deal. I don't think I've fully recovered completely from COVID as far as my smell goes. Because I remember this beer having a very punchy nose on it. And it's just not there. And obviously it's been taken care of. It's been mailed. It comes from the brewery. It's not like it's been sitting on a hot shelf. You know what I mean? It was mailed in a during January, so it's been very cold. And I get a little bit of a weedy graininess on it, a little bit of soft OJ vibes, and that's it. I'm really not getting a huge nose off of this. Chalk that up to me being stupid with COVID. I'm just gonna dive in. Cheers. My tongue's not stupid with COVID, though. Yeah. I mean, it does have this OJ kind of vibe to it. I remember it being maybe a little garlicky in previous review. I shouldn't be recalling my old review. It's that long ago. It's kind of bad form to do that to begin with. And let's just talk about the beer here specifically. So, nice, full mouthfeel to it. It's not that super dense, chalky thing I talk about that so many people shoot for nowadays. It's what would be considered new school, new school kind of dense when it comes to the actual mouthfeel in the beer itself. There's this slightly oniony, garlicky thing underneath it that's not super punchy, but it's there. And that's what I was going to reference when I was talking about before about thinking me remembering it being a little bit bigger, a little bit denser. It's there, but it's not nearly as aggressive. But not definitely, like, it's not like barely there either. It's definitely meaningful, if you will. And really, the mouthfeel leans heavily citrus with a bunch of different representations in there. OJ is apparent. You get a grapefruit kind of juiciness, and you definitely get this kind of pop of pineapple on it. It definitely leans in that kind of direction of citrus. You could talk me into like a little bit of a sweetened starfruity tropical thing. You'd talk me into even a little bit of an oversweetened kind of peach thing. And while all those are probably present within the beer, it's definitely more citrus leaning than anything else. So that nice kind of slightly garlicky kind of thing. I keep leaning heavily to like a garlic as opposed to an onion kind of thing on it. And a really kind of, like I said, old school, new school kind of mouthfeel to it. It's a really good beer, man. It's as good as I remember the beer being, a little bit different. I remember having a little bit skosh more dense mouthfeel, a little bit more vibrant and a kind of green, kind of danky side of things. But definitely still a goddamn pleasure to drink. Yeah. There's a reason why I guess I waited out in the cold for this sumbitch. Such a good beer, man. They make such good beers in general. I don't think I've ever had like an overtly bad beer. I've had some beers from them, didn't really make me hot and bothered. Some of the barrel aged stuff that I've had here and there hasn't been my jam. And it's been an IPA here and there that wasn't particularly my personal favorite thing, but across the board, from the Hazies to the porters to even like I had a pub ale from them recently that was really good. They're very sneaky outside of the hazy game, and I think that's a good testament to a good brewery. Very fun stuff. This is just kind of, it's weird because it's kind of taking me back, but it's a beer that's ultra modern, so it's kind of a weird trip to go on to be like, yeah, I'm having these kind of like flashbacks of traveling and visiting the brewery, and I'm like, wait, this brewery's still like super new, and it's kind of like, I guess, when your kids grow up and you still think they're a baby. Anyway, yeah, I'm getting weird here, so let's cut to the chase. Yeah, mostly citrus leaning with me, with dabbles of everything else in there. That green component, or that hop component, I should say, more than anything else, on the bittering kind of green side of things, comes off garlicky, scalliony, kind of oniony for me, more than a weedy dankiness, even though there's slight undertones of that. It has a really drinkable, old school, dense kind of mouthfeel. It's not today's kind of super fluffy, water nerdy chalkiness that a lot of people dig on, but classically in a new school kind of way. I know I keep jumping back between those two words. It's pretty damn fun stuff. I'm glad I got to drink it again. So thank you very much, guys. Let's talk about it. It's one of the better 8%. That's double IPA in my books. It's one of the better double IPAs I've had as of late. Yes, it's a Mount Rushmore status. It's worthy. Is it on there? I don't know. That's a debate. It's a debate that should be had. It's not so much as it doesn't deserve it. There's so many good ones nowadays that, depending on the day, the mood strikes me. That mountain changes faces from time to time. So it can be. Or maybe it gets beat out. I don't know. Can we end it in any weird cryptic way? Let's see. Bagged availability. I forget what I paid for this last time. I want to say it was like $16 to $18 a 4-pack. I don't know if that's still the case. If anybody out there in the old Bissel universe, let me know. And leave you with, if you like what we like this beer. If you like hazies, you're not afraid of a little bit of garlicky bittering, and you like new school, old school hazies, or old school, new school hazies, would probably be the better way about it. You'll dig this. I mean, from the can art to the memories that it elicits to the actual beer itself, it's a fun ride, and one that I'm very much happy I went on again. So if you dig tasty, well done beers that aren't just all in one direction, trying to give you all one thing, then you'll like this. There you go. Little review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it down there. If you want to talk about it, Massive Beers. If you want to check me out doing the social media stuff, Beer Massive. If you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting stuff, and hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hopefully enjoying a little Bissel right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.